Welcome to my world. Well, not quite my world. This is a VR game that I made. I made a devlog about it as well on the Game Dev channel. We'll just get into it. We smack this thing over here and it loads the actual level. So this is, again, I made a devlog about this on the Game Dev channel, going through the entire process, like literally every element of the development of this game I cover in that video. It's like a 40-minute video where I go through the project file and everything like that. So if somebody is attacking me and I don't know who it is, but he is dead by now. So this is an early version. There will be a link down below in the description eventually to a download for this. I probably will end up putting it up on a Google Drive before publishing it to itch. A good way to keep up to date with anything regarding this game or any other game that I'm working on is mostly just through the Discord, like most other things. Or Patreon. You can support me on Patreon and get access to this build of the game that I'm playing right now immediately. I will, after a couple of days of it being Patreon exclusive, also put it up just publicly in the description below this video. But for the time being, Patreons do get a little bit of a bonus in getting it early, so that should be exclusive for at least a couple of days, right? Anyway, talking about the game itself. It's a VR game. It's a VR combat game that is probably the most developed genre for VR at this point in time. And as you can see, you've got this sword over here, which you can slash through the skeletons with. And you've also got this magic spell, which has a cooldown of 2 seconds, so you can't spam it too much. There's a little bit of iffiness sometimes where the sword is supposed to have knockback if it doesn't kill the skeleton, and it doesn't really do that sometimes, most of the time, really. So that's something that I'm going to have to look into. You see, the magic spell has knockback. The sword does not. But it still does make the enemies invincible for a while, because the enemies get iframes when you hit them, because that's just fair, right? And this is really everything there is to the game. I still need to make UI elements. I need to do a little bit of balancing so that everything is a lot of fun. Maybe introduce a different type of enemy or two. And after I've done that, this project will just be finished. This is not going to be a long-term project that I'm going to be working on for months on end. This is going to be a very, very short-term project where the majority of the development I have done over the course of a single day. And now I'm going to just polish it and build on that a little more over the next 2 or 3 weeks. And then this will just be finished. I'm going to put it up on itch.io. I'm going to test whether or not it works on standalone on Oculus as well. Which I don't know that it will, because I'm using quite a lot of relatively high poly models and high resolution textures, so I might have to downgrade those a little bit, but they're pre-existing assets. They're not things I made myself. For it to work on standalone. So I might just skip that altogether. But if it works for standalone, where am I getting hit from? I will also try to put it up on the... If you die, you just get reset back to this map. I will try to put it up on the Oculus Store through SideQuest as well, or App Labs, rather. I think is the thing that is pretty much like what Steam Greenlight used to be for Steam. The Oculus Store has App Labs, which is a place that you can buy and sell games that are not officially supported. And if you do well enough on there, Facebook, Meta might end up officially supporting your game and selling it on the Oculus Store, which obviously would be a very, very good thing business-wise. I don't expect this game to go through that at all. This is a very fun, quick side project that I'm doing, and not much more, really. But still, I'm relatively happy and I'm proud with how this ended up. Again, it's not finished quite yet, but how this ended up coming through for me in, again, a development time of literally under 24 hours. I started this on where sometimes you get hit by things and you don't see where the enemy is, which is slightly problematic. I started this on Friday evening and I did like 2 hours of work, and then by Saturday evening I had finished it. At least like this build that I have right now. The only thing that I did today on Sunday as I'm recording this is actually like packaging the game so that I can upload it and other people can play it outside of the Unreal editor itself. And like do a little bit of bug fixing with things that came along with specifically with the packaging process, right? But also during the Saturday I did some things that are related to like my actual job. 2 hours or so of real work. I'm not saying that this isn't real work, but this is not what my income, at least at the moment, is made up from. So, yeah, definitely I feel like I can cheat a little bit, like pushing some time around. Because if I didn't need to do that, I would have probably packaged this game last night. And this would have been ready to go before the devlog was even recorded. And that would have been real good, because the gameplay footage that I'm using for this game, the devlog from the preview window, is really low resolution, whereas this video you're watching right now is high resolution. I think the PC render window thing for this is 4K. I'm capturing it in 1080, but it should be pretty high quality altogether anyway. So a few things that I still need to do is make some kind of UI. Make it so that you can see your health. And preferably, I would also get something like a wave-based system, so that after like 100 skeletons, you get a bit of a break, you get healed by like 3 health or something like that. And then like a scoreboard where you can keep your high score, just to incentivize people to play a little bit more than like once or twice. I'm probably not going to end up doing the wave-based system because that is probably going to take quite a bit of money, well, money, time is money, right? Quite a bit of time to do. And that would mean that I also am making like a lot of functionality outside of these 24 hours, in which case I don't really feel like I can brag about making this in a day anymore. Maybe that doesn't matter that much, though. Because nobody's going to buy the game, and I died, based on the fact that it was made in a day. But, I mean, I'm not going to sell the game to begin with. I'm going to put it on itch.io, and I'm going to enable the pay what you want functionality. So if people like want to throw me a buck or two because they like the game and they want to support me and like encourage me to keep making more of these like little side projects as well as the big game that I'm working on, they're free to. I'm not going to say no to money, but I'm not going to like sell this, not even for like a buck, because it's a side project that I made mostly out of curiosity for like, can I make a VR game? How much more difficult will it be? And also to like make a game from start to finish, because I've been working on this platforming game for like, I don't know, almost a year now. And while that's a very fun process, I would also like to have like something that I can deliver on, if you understand. I mean, if you're a creative type, you will probably... Yeah, sometimes this happens as well, where an enemy keeps being invincible and it just kind of ends your run. So, yeah. What's your problem, mate? Why do you do this? Anyway, I think we're gonna get it. We're gonna end the video here because I've shown you the game. I mean, I might as well just like do one more run. There's a few things that still need to be done. The most important of which is UI, right? The daytime version of this is at the moment the menu screen or the main menu, and that's fine. But there needs to be a little bit more to it than just like a block that says play or start play or whatever it says, right? So that definitely still needs to be made. There needs to be an indicator for your health. The knockback for the skeletons definitely needs to be improved. I probably should disable collision for the dying enemies, because what's ended up happening quite a few times by now is that enemies die, I want to use the magic spell, and then I waste it on the hitbox of the dying enemy, which is kind of too bad. I'm also thinking that when an enemy is stunned from magic, it should still be able to be hit by the sword, but that requires a bit of a rework of how I'm handling iframes at the moment, because the iframes are actually tied to the stun animation and stuff like that. Again, I don't know who was hitting me. That's the downside to having this like 360-degree thing, right? And I'm not wearing headphones either. If I were wearing headphones, it probably would be at least a little easier to tell where sounds are coming from. Also, the skeleton spawner that's over there definitely needs to be moved around a little, because you can see the enemies spawning in. I'm probably going to end up giving like 2 or 3 more enemies. Just one that moves a lot faster, but only has like a little bit of HP. Make these a little tougher, so you have to hit them a little bit more before they die. And then make one that's a lot heavier, that maybe like deals less damage to you, but is harder to kill, or something like that, right? A little bit more variety, and then make them randomly spawn with like weight. So these will spawn more often than the other two, but like 1 in 10 will probably end up spawning as one of the special units. And then that means that like those have a 1 in 20 chance of showing up each, something like that. So there is some work still to be done for this game, but this is my own VR game. If you have a VR headset and you would like to play through this very first version of the game, again, there's going to be updates to it in the coming like month or so. I'm going to be pretty busy over the next month, I imagine, so maybe it'll be a little longer than a month. There is a link down below in the description after the first few days of this being uploaded, and there is a link live on the Patreon right now. So I'll see you all back next time with another one of my normal videos where we play like Ancient Dungeon or Skyrim or whatever, I don't know. Also, I should point out that all of the like visual assets you're seeing, they are not made by me. Like, I did not make this sword, or that house, or that well, or anything you're visually looking at right now. Those are all Unreal Marketplace assets that are free, actually. So, disclaimer, I suppose, if you thought I was a really good 3D model all of a sudden, I'm not.